Hello students, this is Mandeep Kaur Sohi. Welcome all. Today we are going to start chapter number 4 in the Kingdom of Fools from the book Moments. The story of this lesson is a Kannada folk tale. Kannada is a regional language that is mainly spoken in Karnataka state. And folk tale is a story that is passed on from one generation to another. The story of this lesson is taken from Folk Tales from India, written by A.K. Ramanujan. So, first of all, we will discuss the title of the lesson in the Kingdom of Fools, which means the state where people are not so wise, they are not very intelligent. In this story, the king, his ministers, and his advisors all were foolish. When such type of people rule the kingdom, then what all happens has been described in the story. So let's begin. According to this story, the king and his ministers both were foolish, unintelligent. They didn't want to run their kingdom like other kings did. So they decided to do something different. They started treating night as day and day as night. They ordered that the work which was done during the day would be done during the night, and the work which was done during the night would be done during the day. If anyone disobeyed, would be punished with death. So, in the fear of death, people started following this stupid order. So, one day, a saint and his disciple reached the kingdom. They were very surprised to see that people were sleeping during the day and working during the night. And even all the food items were very cheap by the price. All these things costed the same, a single dudu. So the saint understood everything that it was the kingdom of fools. He thought it could be dangerous for them, so he ordered the disciple to leave that place. But the disciple was foodie. He wanted to enjoy the cheap food, so he didn't leave that place. Guru left that place and went back. On the other hand, the disciple stayed there and he ate his fill every day bananas, ghee, rice, and wheat, and he became very fat like a huge bull. So one day, a man approached the king for justice. He said that his brother was committing their ancient trade of theft in merchant's house, and while doing that, a wall of the merchant's house fell on him and he died on the spot. So the merchant was culprit. He wanted the king to get him compensated. As the king was foolish, he did not analyze that man was criminal because he died during, so he promised him to give him justice. So he tried all men who were involved in the death of the thief. First of them was a rich merchant who was the owner of the house whose wall had fallen on the thief. But he accused the man who had built that weak wall. And he said that the wall was built in the times of his father. The man who built it had become old man, and even he knew the address of him. So the old man was summoned. When he came to the court, he denied the fault by saying that it was not his fault because he was distracted by a dancing girl who was moving in the street again and again, and the sound of her anklets made him divert. So he was unable to concentrate on his work. That's why he had built a very weak wall. King was convinced with this story. So he sent his men to take the dancing girl to the court. Now, the dancing girl, also an old woman, when she came to the court, she was trembling, and even she accepted that she was the cause of diverting the bricklayer's attention, but she transferred the crime on another person. It was Goldsmith. Dancing Girl said that she had given some gold to Goldsmith to make some jewelry out of it for her. But he was a dishonest man. He made so many excuses and made her walk up and down to his house a dozen times. So he was the real culprit. Now King thought the dancing girl was a poor lady and she was right. So he summoned the goldsmith to the court. When the goldsmith was brought before the king in the court, he also accused the another man for his fault. He said that it was not his fault. Actually, he was making ornaments for rich merchant, that because there was a wedding in his family, so the rich man would not wait for that. That's why he delayed her jewelry. Due to this, she had to walk up and down in the street again and again. The king asked the goldsmith to name the man who had given him jewelry. When the goldsmith named the man, everyone was amazed because he was none other than the original owner of the house, whose ball had fallen on the thief, means he was the father of rich merchant. Now the story ended up man from where it had started. But the father of the rich merchant was dead now. So the king said that in his place, his son, means the rich merchant, must be punished. So the new weapon that was made to execute the culprit, according to the ministers, a thin man was not fit to this stake, as the rich merchant was very thin to be killed by that stake. Only a fat man could fit on that stake. As the king was foolish, so he ordered that a fat man to be found. His servant took the disciple before him as he became very fat by overeating. The disciple screamed and said that he was innocent. He had done nothing, but nobody paid attention to him. So he prayed his guru in his heart for help. His guru had magical power. He could see present, past, and even future. So he visualized that his disciple was in trouble. So he reached there to save him. As the guru knew very well that the king had no brain, he was foolish, so he thought to trap him into his talks. The guru used his intelligence and wisdom to trap the foolish king. He said to the king that the stake which they would use to kill the disciple was the stake of justice. As it was new, it never had a criminal on it, so who would die first on it would be reborn as king of the kingdom, and who went next would become the minister in the future. So they both guru and disciple fought for dying first. As the king was foolish, so he easily trapped in his story. Actually, he didn't want to lose his kingdom in the future too. So he discussed the same story with his minister. The, so that night, both the king and the minister disguised themselves as guru and disciple, and they were taken to the stake and got killed. Next day, when the bodies were taken down to be thrown to the crows, the people became very panicked and confused. All night they mourn and think about the future of their kingdom. But finally, they requested the guru and disciple to be their king and ministers. The disciple agreed at once, but the guru took some time to accept it. Finally, Guru accepted the proposal on a condition that kingdom would run normal like other kingdom did. All agreed and relaxed. So now the Guru was able to convert the kingdom of fools into the kingdom of normals. So this is all about the chapter. We learned that foolish people can be handled only with wisdom and intelligence. So these are the meaning of difficult words. You can pause the video here and read all the meaning of difficult words. I hope you understand the lesson very well. Thanks for watching.